Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to our virtual VFIT class. So we're gonna get the week started out, right? We're gonna get going with our general warm-up. We're gonna start out, we're gonna have 3 exercises that we're gonna do for 30 seconds of each exercise. So our first exercise that we're gonna do is just gonna be a front to back jump. We're gonna get into an athletic position, bend the hips, knees, and ankles, and we're just gonna go forward and back for 30 seconds of time here. Once we're done with our 30 seconds there, we're gonna head into a lateral jump. So now we're gonna go in that same position with the hips, knees, and ankles bent, athletic position. I'm gonna now jump side to side, trying to avoid letting my feet come together, being quick off the ground for 30 seconds. Our third exercise that we're gonna do is just gonna be a 1.5 rep body weight squat. So we're just gonna start out in the top of our squat position. We're gonna go all the way down, halfway up, all the way down, and all the way back up, counting as 1. And we're just gonna keep moving there for 30 seconds, all right? So we're gonna go through the first round here, right? So starting out with our front to back jumps over the line. If you have a line for reference point, that's great. If not, just keep it moving, going 30 seconds, starting out, and now just going front to back, quick off the ground. Just getting the body warmed up. Yeah, 10 seconds. And time, all right. So now we're gonna move on to our second exercise, our lateral hops again, getting into that athletic position, still keeping our feet at hip width, going side to side now for 30 seconds, and go. Halfway on time. And time, all right. So now back to our third exercise, our 1.5 rep body weight squats. So down all the way, halfway up, all the way down, and then all the way back up, counting as 1. All right, going for 30 seconds here, ready? And go. And time. All right guys, so if for whatever reason the front to back or side side hops bother your hips, knees, or ankles for whatever reason, a couple of adjustments that you could make is either one, just doing a jumping jack in place for the same amount of time, or you could just do a wide out in place. So pretty much a jumping jack without the upper body. We're just gonna go in and out for 30 seconds. Both of those variations should be a little bit easier on the hip, knees, and ankles and allow you to kind of get through the warm-up without hurting yourself, all right? So now we've done one round of that. It's gonna be on you. We're gonna go 30 seconds of all those movements again. We're gonna get 2 more rounds on your own time, all right? Now, once we're done with our general warm-up, we're gonna move into our specific warm-up. So kind of warm up our shoulders and our hips and our upper back and lower back a little bit more here. So we're gonna have 4 exercises here, and I'll kind of walk us through each one, all right? First one is just gonna be a bent W raise iso. This one again is gonna be done for 30 seconds. So we're gonna bend at the waist, keeping the knees slightly bent. My chest is parallel to the ground. I'm gonna get my thumbs pointed up to the ceiling, and I'm gonna drive the elbow straight back. And we're gonna hold it here for 30 seconds, making sure we're trying to actively squeeze the scapula down and together at the same time, getting for a good activation here through the upper back, about halfway on time. And time. All right. Next one that we're going to do is just going to be a single leg RDL. So now we're just going to again be on one leg. We're going to get a slight bend in the hip, knee, and ankle. And from here, let me go this way so I don't hit the bench. But from here, I'm going to reach with both hands towards the ground and push this off leg back behind me for a counterbalance. So we're going to reach out, reaching with both hands, get that stretch in the hamstring, and pull through, trying to avoid putting that leg down if you can. If you have to put it down for balance, that's fine, but doing our best to try and avoid doing that, making this drill as difficult as we can. I'm just looking for body control while we're doing this. So again, rebend, pushing out, and standing back up. We're gonna get 5 on each side here. That's 3. 4. And 5. All right, so once we get 5 on both legs there, we're gonna move on to our third exercise. Our third exercise here is just gonna be a glute bridge. We've all done these before, but just a couple of key things that we need to lock in on here is, one, is you don't wanna kind of hyperextend here while I'm letting my rib cage getting up, and I'm kind of just lifting with my lower back, putting extra strain on that lower back. And a lot of us kind of have lower back issues. That's just going to kind of exacerbate it. So when we're doing this, we want to make sure that we're keeping that core engaged and that rib cage down, and my finish position at the top isn't with my hips sagging, it's with from my shoulder to my knee in a straight line. So if I get down on the ground, I'll show you how that looks. So we'll be down on the ground here. I'm gonna have my heels in the ground. I'm gonna turn my abs on so that I'm engaged here, and I'm gonna lock the hip all the way out, and I'm gonna get a straight line from my shoulders all the way through to my hips, getting a big squeeze in the glutes and the hamstrings. We're gonna get 15 reps here per round. All right. So from there, I'm just gonna stay down here. Our next exercise is just gonna be our bird dogs. So again, now I'm just looking for body control through kind of our hips here. So I'm gonna be in that 6-point position, my hands, knees, and toes dug in the ground. I'm gonna have my wrist directly underneath my shoulders and my knees directly underneath my hips. And I'm just gonna reach with the opposite arm and opposite leg, reaching all the way out until that back leg is straight and that arm is straight out in front of me. I'm gonna pull it back together. I like to tap hand and knee to try to challenge my balance a little bit here. And reaching out again, we're gonna get 10 on each side here. And 10. Go to the other side. And 10. All right. So again, like I said, we're gonna get 3 total rounds there. So we'll go back to our W ISO hold, pulling the shoulders back. We'll go 30 seconds there. Our second exercise being our single leg RDL. We're gonna get 5 on each side there. Then we'll head down to the ground. We'll go our glute bridges for 15, and then our bird dogs for 10 on each side. All right, so we're gonna get 3 total rounds there. We just went through 1, so we're just gonna get 2 more there, right? Once we finish with that, we're gonna move on to our first main series for the day, all right? So first thing that we're gonna do is just gonna be a high incline bench. Now, a high incline is gonna be kind of, all benches are a little different, but it's gonna be at about like a 60, 65 degree angle here. So a little bit higher than what we would usually be at, all right? So for my guys, I might be looking at, we're gonna go through kind of a downward ladder. So we're gonna start out, we're gonna go 12 reps the first round, then we're gonna go 10, then we're gonna go 8, and then we're gonna go 6. So we're gonna go decrease by 2 for each round, all right? So in terms of weight, if you have the ability, I would say trying to go up by 5 pounds or so between each round. Just that way we can kind of keep the stimulus and the intensity where we want it to be, all right? In between rounds, I'm gonna show you, we're gonna have a straight arm lat pull-in, and we're gonna get, that's gonna be at 15 for every round. So I'll start out by demonstrating our high incline press. This is gonna kind of target a little bit higher on the pec and more of the frontal delt area and the triceps, more so than kind of the pec, and it's just gonna be a little bit different area, all right? So I'll start out with the high incline press. So again, I'm gonna take us through the first round here, and like I said, each subsequent round we'll go down by 2 reps each time, right? So we're gonna make sure we get the dumbbells with the head into our armpits, our feet are flat on the ground, our heads flat on the bench, and we're just gonna press straight up over our shoulders for 12 reps here. And 12. All right, from there, we're gonna head over. I'm gonna go to the pull-up rig. We're gonna do our straight arm lat pull-in. If you don't have a broomstick like I'm gonna use, you can use a second band, a second lighter band, or equivalent tension band to kind of get the same effect. So we're gonna come over. I'm gonna grab my broomstick. We're gonna stick it through the band. We're gonna push the hips back, get a big stretch in the lats at the top. We're gonna pull all the way down to our thighs. Like I said, we're gonna get 15 reps here every round. All right, so then for our second round, it's gonna be the same exercises. Like I said, if you have the ability to go up a little bit in weight, you're gonna do 10 reps. Your second round, your third round is gonna be 8 reps, and your fourth and final round is gonna be 6 reps. And in between each of those rounds of pressing, we're gonna get 15 of our lat pull-ins every round, all right? So moving on from that, we're gonna go to our second series here. Now we're gonna bring the bench down a little bit. So down from the high incline to a regular incline. And from there, we're gonna do a chest supported row. Our first round is just gonna be a warm-up set of 8 reps. I'll show you that, and then I'll show you, we're gonna go through 3 rounds of 30 seconds, just repping it out, getting as much blood flow to the upper back as we can in that time, all right? So I'll show you how we're gonna get that done. Bring the bench down. We'll bring our dumbbells out to the side here. So we're gonna go our chest on the bench, Our feet are long and in the ground. I'm gonna grab one dumbbell at a time. I'm gonna arch the chest up off the bench. We're gonna get 8 rows to warm us up. As for weight on these guys, I would probably say if you were changing weights between rounds, I would use whatever weight you use for your first set for 12 for your rows here, because you're gonna get a lot of volume in. Your goal would, I'd probably say, to get at least, 15, 20 rows in 30 seconds, all right? So now we did our warm-up set. This is the only exercise we're gonna have here, where, like I said, we're gonna get lots of blood flow to the upper back. We're gonna set our timer for 30 seconds, and then we're gonna get 3 rounds of 30 seconds of rowing. Like I said, trying to get as many reps as we can in that 30 seconds. Obviously, you're not gonna rip 3 rounds straight. Do your 30 seconds, take a minute or so break, and then get back in it for your next following 2 rounds, all right? So I'll set us up. We're gonna go our 30 seconds of rows here. So same positioning. And go. Ten seconds. There you go, on time. So I'd say I probably got like 20, 25 rows in that round. So like I said, use a weight that's manageable for you. I would say, generally speaking, that weight that you pressed for 12 should probably be a good place to start, all right? So moving on from that, we're gonna grab a little bit lighter dumbbell, and then I'm gonna show you what we're gonna have with that, all right? So we're gonna start out, I'd probably say, probably nothing more really than 10 pounds here. That's what I'm gonna use. So I'd say for my ladies, 5 to 8 pounds, my guys, 8 to 10 pounds. We're gonna do a single arm chest fly. So still on the incline here. We're just gonna start with the dumbbell out in front of us. We're relaxed on the bench. We're just gonna let the arm stretch out to the side, looking for that stretch in the pec, and pull it back in. We're gonna go 10 to 12 reps on each side here. I'd say you don't wanna have a completely straight arm. You wanna have a slight bend in the elbow and work that stretch in the pec. There you go, 12. Then we go to the other side. Again, slight bend in the elbow. All right, and with that movement, we're just gonna have a good old body weight push-up, right? So making sure that we're keeping our hands directly underneath our shoulders, and we're keeping our hips in line with our shoulders. That way we're keeping that core engaged, and we're not, again, putting more stress on our lower back that we don't need to have there, right? So just a regular body weight push-up. We'll call it 5 to 10 reps for my ladies. If you can only rip out 5, get 5. If you can get 10, get 10. For my guys, we're getting, at least 10 here, right? So just bringing it down to the ground. Just gonna get 10 push-ups here. All right, and then we're literally just gonna go back and forth between those 2 movements for 3 total rounds. So again, it's gonna be 10 to 12 single arm pec flies on each side, and then 5 to 10 just regular old bodyweight push-ups every round. And we're gonna get, now we just did one, so we're gonna get 2 more rounds there, right? So now, moving on to our next station, it's gonna be a bit of an arm pump here. We're gonna have 3 exercises that we're gonna do here. I'd probably say 10 to maybe 15 pounds for my ladies, or maybe 8 to 12 pounds, I would say, for my ladies. And I would say 15 to 20, maybe 25 pounds for my guys on this next series, all right? So I'm gonna grab those weights and we'll get going, all right? So also for here, we're gonna bring this bench down to a flat position. All right, so our first exercise is gonna be an eccentric skull crusher. All eccentric means is that lowering part of the movement, you're gonna go down at about a 3 to 5 second pace. So you're not gonna go straight down. We're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and extend out on every single rep, right? Our second thing that we're gonna do is just gonna be a close grip or a dumbbells touching press for 15 to 20 reps. And then our last thing is just gonna be a dumbbell curl for 15 reps. So our eccentric skull crusher is gonna be 10 to 15, our close grip press, 15 to 20, and our curls for 15. We're gonna get 3 total rounds here, all right? So the first thing I'll demonstrate is gonna be our eccentric skull crushers. I'm gonna press straight out. And again, we're going to 3 to a 5 count on the way down. 3, 2, 1, and extending straight out. If this is the movement that kind of bothers your elbows a little bit, I know it does mine, you can add a little bit of a roll to it. So you kind of roll forward and extend out. So take a little bit pressure off the elbow. I think that's about 12. All right, now we're just gonna bring the dumbbells together. Just gonna do a close grip press. Just pumping it out. Try and get a bit of a pump to the tricep. 15 to 20 reps here. And our last thing, we'll stand it up. We're just gonna do a dumbbell curl. No real preference on how you're gonna do it. You wanna do hammer style, do it hammer style. You wanna rotate, you can rotate. Just make sure you're getting a good pump here. We're going 15 reps here. All right, so quick reminder, we're gonna have 10 to 15 eccentric skull crushers. Like I said, at the bottom position. I know for me, it bothers my elbows a little bit. If you want to add, you can add a little bit of a roll where you kind of roll to get yourself up. That should take some of the tension off the elbow. So we're gonna have 10 to 15 reps there. Then we'll bring the dumbbells close together. We're gonna get our close grip press for 15 to 20. And then we'll stand it on up, we'll get our dumbbell curls for 15 reps. Like I said, you can do it however you want. You want to do hammer style, you can do a hammer. You want to rotate, you can rotate. You want to flip the grip and do it inverted. However you like, just get 15 curls there, all right? So once we're gonna go, we just did 1 round. So we're gonna get 3 total rounds there. We're gonna do 2 more rounds there on your own. Like I said, 8 to 12 pounds for my ladies. And I would say 15, maybe 25 pounds for some of my guys, all right? After our 3 rounds there, we're gonna get a little bit of ab work going on. First thing is just gonna be a plank reach. So we're gonna be in that forearm plank position. We're just gonna reach straight out in front of us, trying to keep our hips square for 10 reaches on each side. And then we'll flip it over to our back. We're gonna do a concentrated sit-up for 10 to 15 reps there. So I'll kind of walk us through that, all right? So our plank reaches, like I said, we're gonna be in that forearm plank position. Really the point of moving the arm out of the way is to put you a little bit off balance. So don't make it easier on yourself. It's supposed to be difficult. We're trying to keep the hips square to the ground. You should feel a lot of tension in the shoulder and in the hips, trying to keep yourself square. We're gonna get 10 reaches on each side. So I'll be here. Again, hips in line with the shoulders, reaching out 10 times on each side. And 20. Whew. All right, our next one's just gonna be our concentrated sit-up. So starting out in that kind of glute bridge position, my feet flat on the ground, laying flat on my back. I'm gonna have my hands on the ground next to me. And now my hands and my forearms don't leave the ground. I'm just gonna curl myself up, try to reach for those heels and come back down. We're gonna get 10 to 15 reps here. And one more. Ugh. All right, so we're gonna get 3 total rounds there. So our plank reaches, 10 on each side. Our concentrated sit-ups for 10 to 15, just feeling out what you feel is best for you. And you get 3 total rounds. So you just did 1, so you're responsible for 2 more rounds on your own, all right? Once we're done there though, guys, we are done for the day. Great stuff today. Look forward to seeing you guys soon, all right?